Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shruti Smriti Puranam, Smriti Puranam, Alayam Karunalayam, Alayam Karunalayam, Namami Bhagavat Pada, Namami Bhagavat Pada, Shankaram Loka Shankaram, Shankaram Loka Shankaram. You gotta understand, I prayed. You don't have to. And you can pray in any language you want, using any verses you want, whatever makes you comfortable. It is not a necessity for us to move forward. Okay? But I can't proceed without doing it. That's my limitation. And we'll talk about why and why not. And there have been days where I've forgotten to do it, which is absolutely fine. Okay, so we are at verse number 126, which says, so this is, okay, the other thing I need to tell you, this is a dialogue between a student and a teacher. So all good Vedanta texts will be eventually a dialogue between one student and one teacher. It will never be a dialogue between 1 lakh students and one teacher. In case you had any doubts about it, that's not possible. You cannot have teaching occurring in that mode. Teaching is usually a student asking a question and the teacher answering it. So what's the most important thing in this classroom? Feel free to ask questions. Because if you don't ask a question, we're going nowhere. This is not going to move forward. So the student has asked a question, and in the process, the teacher has just answered. He says, Ath te sampravakshyami swarupam paramatmanah yad vigyaya naro bandhat muktah kaivalyam ashnute. Now, usually I write this on the board and I break apart the words and I show you all the meanings. Maybe I'll do that. Somebody will have to erase it after we're done. It says, Adha, now, te, to you, sampravakshyami. I'm going to tell you. Literally says, I'm going to tell you, sampravakshyami. That's why the students have been waiting for it patiently, because he's just going to tell you. Adha te sampravakshyami swarupam. Swarupam is very nice Sanskrit word. It means Swarupam is the original form. Like the Swarup of fire is heat. You can't have fire without heat, at least in the ancient context. I know that in your labs you can create a cool fire now. Be very cool. But generally, the way we understand the word fire, you cannot remove the word heat from it. It's part of its Swarup. Swarupam paramatmanah. Do you want me to translate that? That's the verse we're in. Paramatmana Atma. The ultimate. There is only one. There is really the word param has been added to it. But really I'm going to tell you the swarup of Atma. The essential nature. Yad vigyaya. Having known which. Naro. Which is Naraha. Bandhat. Mukta. Yeah, I know what that means, right? For some of you, all of you have some working knowledge of Hindi or some language that's close to this. Yad Vigya, having known which, Naraha, humans, Bandhat, will become free from bondage. Mukta, Bandhat. Kaivalyam. Kaivalyam Ashnite. Later it tells you, I'm going to tell you. What is the essential nature of Atma? Having known which, having understood which. Vigyaya means having understood which. Properly understood, not just known. I know the Ford car, but I don't know exactly how it works. There may be other things that I know exactly how it works. But this is Yad Vigyaya, having understood which. Bandhat Mukta. What is this word bandhat? What is bondage? Well, we won't touch it too much right now because it's a long topic of discussion. But guess what the student's next question is going to be after he's done explaining Atma? What is bandhat? So the student is very intelligent in this case. The questions that you're going to have, he'll have maybe not in the same order, maybe in slightly different order, but he'll ask. He will ask all the questions. He will ask, what is bandha? Then he'll define bandha, he'll say, then what is that? So we saw that in Tattva Bodha, right? He would ask, what is this? And we would define it. He would say, what is that? And then they would define it. So the student is very astute themselves. So athate sampravakshyami, I am now going to tell you Swarupam, the essential nature of what is Atma. Yad Vigyaya, having understood which, humans become freed from bondage. And what is Kaivalyam, Ashnute? Kaivalyam is a big one. Kaivalyam means, Kaivalyam is, I guess the easy way to translate would be, they have become freed from bondage and they have become as though one. Kaivalyam, alone. As though they have become everything. In one way I could translate it like that. Kaivalyam Ashnate, they reach that state of being where they are everything. Or I should put it, since the word here was bandhat muktaha, Kaivalyam means they have no more limitations. They become complete. I think that's the right way I'm going to use it. A sense of limitation. Do you experience a sense of limitation? Yes. I am a man. I am not a woman. I am constrained by definition. Even before I open my mouth, I am constrained. I am this and I am not that. That is the definition of limitation. If I am this, I cannot be that. Kaivalyam is the removal of all limitations. So if you are experiencing a sense of limitation, what the teacher is saying is, I am now going to tell you the essential nature of Atma, having understood which you will be freed from your sense of limitations. And you will reach a state where you will no longer have any sense of limitation. How's that? That is a fair translation of what that verse said. Athate sampravakshyami surupaha paramatmana yad vigyayanara bandhat muktaha kaivalyam ashnate. By the way, this is also written in many places with the word moksha. We've talked about this at the beginning when we were talking about the word moksha, and it will come back. The word moksha will come back and the student will ask, what is moksha? It's a freedom from a sense of limitation. You see, I don't want to be freed from what I have and I want. Right? I can also free you from things that you like and you don't want to part with. I can give you moksha from millions of dollars. I can. If I was a different kind of guru in India, I could definitely do that. Could free you from all your... See, this is more, you should get yourself moksha from it. I'll get you moksha from that, no doubt. But that's not the moksha. I don't want freedom from what I have and I want. I want freedom from what I have but I don't want. And which is the biggest thing that I don't want is the sense of limitation. We will explore that a little bit more as we go, what that sense of limitation is. When we get to the topic of bondage, the student will ask. But that's what that verse is talking about. Kaivalyam is a beautiful word. It's completeness. What is not limited? What is not limited is something that is complete. And what is bound is something that is incomplete. There's another word for complete. Purna. You're familiar with the famous verse, Om Purnamada Purnamida. We'll end the class with that. It's got something to do with the word Purna, a sense of completion. What happens when a person has a sense of completion? They don't want anything. You ever had that? You ate so much food. He said, I don't want anything anymore. I am Purna. After this, I will grow. Right here in front of you, I'll start growing. I'll say, yes, please have some more. When some of you will get married and you'll go to your marriage party, you'll realize there'll be people who want to feed you more. And you'll say, I am Purna. They'll say, no, no, we don't believe it. You eat more. Here, have some more food. Right? But if you have ever experienced Purnatvam, and I'm sure you have, hundreds of times, thousands of times, that's what actually motivates a human being to the search for happiness. Because happiness is not an experience, happiness is Purnatvam, a sense of completion. There's no smile on your face, there's no laughter on your face. It's a sense of fulfillment, of completion. And you get it sometimes. You know what I'm talking about, a sense of completeness. Freedom from limitations for a second. And it stays. Kaivalyam is talking about that sense of completeness. Okay, so much build up. What is it? What is it? What is the answer? Tell me, what is Paramatma? Okay. All right, so we'll write it out. The next verse is a big one. I would say there are some big ones. This is up there in terms of what is that? It says. It's beautiful. It starts with Asti. What is Asti? It simply means is. Is translated as Asti. Asti Kaschit. I love this particular poetic form in which they are going to reveal it. There is something. Asti Kaschit. Swayam. It exists by itself. Swayam. Nityam. Aham. Pratya. Alambana. Avasthatraya Sakshi. Panchakosha Vilakshana. Some of you will recognize that language. As big as it gets. And he needs Yo Vijanati Sakalam Jagat Swapne. There's 3 verses that we're going to need to clearly spell out what it is. Now, just to be clear, Vivekachudamani has hundreds of verses, maybe thousands of verses, very, very long. These are only 108 selected verses that I'm taking from a book. We'll talk about that book and the teacher another time. So 3 verses only will be sufficient here. What does it say? There is something. He said, I'm going to tell you about Paramatma. He says, Asti Kaschit, there is something very special. There's something very special. That is Swayam Nitya. It exists by itself. What does that mean? We'll see what that means. Nityam. It does not undergo change. Does not undergo any change whatsoever. This one, Aham Pratyalambana, I will talk about it later. Avastha Traya Sakshi. The witness of the 3 states. What are the 3 states? Waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Avastha Traya Sakshi of the human, of the Nara. It's waking, for those of you not familiar with waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Is there any other avastha that you have? I'd like to know.
Turiya.
Huh?
Turiya.
That's not an avastha. That's given away the answer before we get there. Avasthatraya. Is there any other? Well, I'm sometimes daydreaming. Right? I'm neither here nor there. I'm sort of stuck in
When
between.
you saying Avasthatraya, then there can be.
Defined it, right? Predefined it. You cannot have any more avasthas. If you have any more, I'm sorry, I'm going to put it in those 3. Huh? In a state of coma? You could be in a state of coma. They have not talked about it there. But a state of coma is very close to being in a state of deep sleep. Not maybe not identical to it, but it's very close to it. But I'm sure you could come up with fancy new terms of, yes, there was that other day, I was dreaming, I was drinking tea at the same time. Is that a new avastha? Maybe. There was a, I remember many years ago when I was a student like you guys, I had a friend who said, "You're going to watch this movie." The movie's name was Altered States. He said, "It's amazing, you're going to watch it." I've been studying Vedanta even at that time. I was like, altered states? Is altered states of what? He says, altered states of consciousness. I said, now I have got to watch it. I watched that movie. It was terrible. It was okay. You can watch it. It's okay. But I'm not talking about altered states of consciousness. I'm just saying that in the human's experience, there are three primary states. You are awake, you're dreaming, or you're in a state of deep sleep. And it is the witness of all the three states. Avastha Traya Sakshi. Panchakosha Vilakshana. Now this, he has given a throwback. He has given a throwback to Tattva Bodha in a very big way. So if we talked about this, we spent weeks talking about this when we covered Tattva Bodha. Panchakoshas are the five, the word kosha is limitation. Properly translated as limitation. What are the Panchakoshas? The Panchakoshas are, you're going to have to help me out here. There's Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and Anandamaya. This is a throwback to Tattva Bodha, where we talked about the five koshas. Annamaya kosha is the physical body. Why physical body? Because it is essentially made up of food. We've had a beautiful discussion about this in the past, and it is somebody else's food too, eventually. Right? So, Annamaya kosha. Pranamaya kosha is the energies in the body. Manomaya kosha is the mental mind. Vijnanamaya kosha is intelligence or buddhi. Anandamaya is a, what is Anandamaya? State of joy, state of bliss. It's very difficult to translate Anandamaya in this. I'm going to translate it as state of deep sleep. Which one are you doing? It's a little more than that. Anandamaya kosha is also referred to as the state of bliss, but we'll have to define what that bliss means and all of that. So we'll leave it at that. Panchakosha Vilakshana. Vilakshana means it's nothing like that. It is not bound by the properties of the five koshas. The five koshas, if you're looking at it now, are referring to your body, your mind, your intellect. It is something, asti kashya, there is something that is Panchakosha Vilakshana. It is free of the limitations of the five koshas. It is the witness of the three states of waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. It is always present, aham, I. It is always present in the sense of I. Whenever you are sitting, you have a sense of I. There's always a sense of I. I'm not talking about pride. I'm not talking about, oh, I feel really strong today. That's not what I'm talking about. Not pride. The sense of I. You are here. You know that, right? If I ask you, where are you? You'll say, I'm here. That I that says I'm here. It's not proud of being here. It may be. I went to Vedanta class. I'm better than all of you. I'm here. That's not the I I'm talking about. I'm talking about the incidental I. The one that says, yes, I'm here. Yes. What do you want to talk about? Aham pratyalambana, the content of that I. The content, always present, the sense and the content of that I. Asti kaschit, there is something. very special, which is the witness of the three states, independent of the limitations of the five koshas, always present as the sense of I, which is Swayam, exists by itself. Asti Swayam, it is by itself. Isn't everything by itself? Did you come into being by yourself? Did you will yourself into existence? You were brought into this world against your best wishes, right? But this is Swayam, Asti Swayam. It is Asti and Swayam. It exists by itself and it does not undergo any change. If this is the definition, I sure would like to meet Paramatma. Saying Asti Kaschitsa. Very interesting. Witness of the three states. Is the witness of your state of waking somebody else? Is somebody else awake in you right now? We've had this joke before. No, it's not me, it's somebody else. Who? It's saying it's not somebody far. Like I said in the beginning, we're not going to be talking about something remote. We're not going to be talking about something abstract. We're going to be talking about the witness of the waking state. He's here right now. It's you. We're talking about you. He's saying there is something special about the one who's here. About the one who is the witness of the three states of waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. It is independent of the body, independent of the mind, independent of intelligence, independent of your physical energies, and it is also independent of your experience of this. But it's here. And it is always present. Because whenever I ask you, are you here? Your answer will be yes, I am. As long as you're awake, your answer will be yes, I am. If I come in your dream and ask you, are you here? You will say, yes, I am. When you wake up from deep sleep, if I ask you, did you sleep well? You'll say, I slept well. Were you there? Not quite. But I was. Otherwise, I couldn't have told you I slept well. It's always present as the aham pratyalambana.
So, Professor, I have this question.
Yeah.
What is the difference between the ahankara thought that we had and aham pratyam, the sense of I? So we always thought that the ahankara is like the thought that I am this.
Yes.
Whenever you have kind of identification thought, so what is the difference between this and that?
So whenever you have the identification thought, it's not just I am, it's also I am this. The this is superimposed on that I am and acts as the limitation on the I am. When I say I am Shivaram, there's two things going on here. I am, and Shivaram is also there. And Shivaram has somehow been imposed on this I am. And that I am has now become constrained by Shivaram. And therefore I am Shivaram. It is not the content of Shivaram. It is the content of I am. One is the I maker. The other is the adhyasa on it, the superimposition upon it. Right? So aham pratyalambana is the content. That's why it says pratyalambana. It's constantly present. It's the content of that I. Yeah.
Who does that superimposition?
Who does that superimposition? We'll talk about it. The superimposition is, in so many words, I can say natural. It's an, if you want to find the real one, it's done here. The superimposition occurs here. At some point in time, I decided I was this. It was a conclusion that rests in my intellect. That intellect does not actually bind the I am. The I am actually is bigger than the intellect. It transcends the intellect. It's not a good word. The intellect is where that adhyasa occurs. I have made an incorrect conclusion about something, and we'll talk about how we get there on clarifying what this I am is. So that's the first definition with which the teacher says. What did he say in the previous? He says, I'm going to show you something that's going to change your life because you're going to become kaivalyam, bandhat mukta. And And he says, this is it. Asti kaschit, there is something special. Now the thing is, what you got to ask yourself, if there's one thing you want to take away from it, it's today is this. He said, Asti kaschit, there is something. But is he asking you to find a new thing that you don't know? Is he asking you to go out and look for something that you have never met before? Is he telling you about something that does not exist, is imaginary, or is something far away? The answer is no. Because he said, Avasthatraya Sakshi, it is the witness of all the three states. It's here. It's here right now. It is the one who is listening to the word. He is the one who is aware of sound hitting your eardrum and you becoming aware of words. The perception of noise is appearing in your mind, being processed in real time by your intellect into words and their meanings, and the thoughts are appearing in your mind as we speak. All of this is happening instantaneously. Almost instantaneously. Sound is hitting your eardrum. Words are hitting your intellect. Meanings are hitting your being, so to speak. It's telling you who is the one. Who is the one? Will the real McCoy please stand up? Who is the one to whom all of this is appearing? He's saying, Asti Kaschit. There is something special. It's not something you need to go out and look for. It is not something far away. And the only takeaway here is that this is also a laboratory. This is not just a technical, theoretical classroom, because the labs are about to begin. If it is here, then it is here. If it is here, then I got to be able to see it. We'll talk about what the word see means in that context. It says it's Swayam. It doesn't need to be illuminated. You got to hear my voice, right? I have to speak it. The sound has to make an appearance in your mind. For that, your ears have to work. Your mind has to be here. You shouldn't be distracted by your phone. Then the words and their meanings will appear. They have to be revealed in your intellect. If I spoke in a different language that you did not know, only noise would appear without any meaning. Fair enough. But whatever I'm saying is being revealed to you by your mind. But this is Swayam. It doesn't need anything to reveal it. It is always revealed to you at all times, which means it is being revealed to you right now, right here. Which makes this into a living lab. What is it? He says it is something very special. It is the one that will lead you to Kaivalya. So our subject matter, and I'm pause here. Our subject matter, if we want to talk about it as that, is something very unique that you neither have to go far, nor speculate, nor theorize about. It is something that you already have here. Our objective here is to figure out what it is that I'm missing, because I missed something. I got to figure out what I missed. So I'm going to rewind everything, and I'm going to start watching the tape all over again. Figure out what it is that I missed. That something got missed. What it is being revealed by the teacher. And then he'll continue in the next verse. You have a question? Yeah. Okay.
I was just thinking with Anandamaya.
Yeah.
Like Anandamaya is it's still one component of human body.
Yes.
Anandamaya.
Absolutely.
It is not Atma at all.
No. What we'll talk about Satchidananda Atma, we'll talk about.
So is that a different Ananda?
Yeah, that's a different one. And the way Vivekachudamani, I love it because it uses different words. It calls it Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. I don't use the word Anantam other than the word Ananda.
Yeah.
So it uses a different word.
So basically the Anand which we want to experience, or we say we experience the Anand. Right? If you do something and then Ananda, which is that Anand? Is that the Anandamaya Kosha that relates to this Anandamaya Kosha, so that your mind is calm?
Correct. Agreed. So it would be experiential happiness is Ananda. Right?
And that's the eternal happiness is Atma.
Yes, that we'll talk about. It's not experiential. If you can experience it, it is the Anandamaya that he's talking about. Yes. And the best Ananda is state of deep sleep. Say you keep you awake for 2 days, you'll say, I need to sleep. And after waking up, you'll say, Bahut Ananda hai. So what was the Anand? You didn't have any joy, no jokes, no songs, nothing. How did you have Ananda? It's deep sleep. It's the biggest Ananda in the whole world, and that's why I use the word deep sleep to represent it. Okay, we can pause here because I have a thing to go to. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti.